All right, someone is asking how to run the backend on a Spanish-speaking creator like in the US, okay, and him not being able to audit the backend the right way because the chatters only translate the English, all that stuff. And it's a very interesting point because we've been in the German market for so long. I know exactly what you're talking about because we still work with Filipinos who's using a translator. And there's a couple of action steps you need to do to fix your backend when you're in these multi-language funnels, right? Where you have English chatters, but also like Spanish subs, Greek subs, Czech subs, whatever it is. Okay, I'm gonna run you through the action steps that we used ourselves that fixed our German backend. And if you know anything about German, it is way more annoying than Spanish for people to learn and translate into directly. If you ever translated anything into German, you know that language is impossible to break through just with a translator. So first thing we did is, and the thing I will recommend to you, hire a Fluent backend manager at like 1.5K a month. And his only task is to review chats daily and run the feedback loops, right? You hire one backend manager that is fluent in English and fluent in Spanish, and that will fix half the problem. We're still only 50% there, but you need one person in charge that owns the department, that knows both languages, and that is gonna be the missing piece between the two languages. Otherwise, you're cooked, right? You can't just have both parties always doing something else. You need this one fluent backend manager whose whole job it is to give daily feedbacks and to have active feedback loops with every single chatter. Makes sense. Obviously, build up your infrastructure in the languages as well. That means you build your script vault in English with side-by-side Spanish notes. So the chatters don't just read the words of the script. They don't just take, hotkey number 1, hotkey number 2, hotkey number 3, but they understand the intent. They should understand, hey, this guy just said this, and now we're going to send out this script, and our goal with it is this. Our wording here is this. It is very positive. It is very sexual. All that stuff. Your chatters need to understand the nuances, because I think you also said, right, the average fan spend stops at like $50 because then the English speaking just gets broken down and you lost a few words, right? If I remember, I could scroll up. Now, this is how you fix that and give your chatters the notes and the English explanation behind every single thing you send out and every single thing you do. Otherwise, they're always going to fuck it up eventually. And this is why around $50 in fan spend, this is where the fans also figure it out because they've already bought some content and now it gets really, really bad. Makes sense. As you remember, we also talked about the persona document, right, for your creators, meaning your creator has a whole planned out persona from her hobbies to her speaking tone, to her tonality, to her looks, to her hobby, all that stuff. And your traders need that in English and then translate it to Spanish, obviously, and audit it weekly. That's the first couple of things that I can see you don't have, and that's going to be the issue that we have here. And last but not least, you can just use AI Oliver. This is why I gave it to y'all, all right? You can just use AI Oliver to audit your chats. Like, I've talked to a couple of guys who've been doing that as well, but that cunt is amazing at it, okay? You can just give him all the feedback. He's gonna create the feedback. He's gonna create the things to improve, the action steps, the SOPs, the scripts for the feedback videos if you ask him to, right? It's literally your OFM Claude, your OFM ChatGPT. You can just take like 20 random chats per month and let him give feedback. That's all it takes.